When does DCF investigate medical neglect in Massachusetts? And that is determined by whether the child is being denied proper medical care in an emergency situation, which could be life-threatening, and that could become an emergency investigation regarding the medical neglect. Or in certain circumstances where there might be a chronic reoccurring problem that the parent or caretaker has been told by a medical professional that you must do X, Y, and Z or administer a certain drug or prescription which would help the child in its life and in its health, and the parent is either unwilling or unable to do such, DCF will step in, investigate, and seek to see if there's any medical neglect in such a situation. Another common example is where a child is born with alcohol fetal syndrome or drugs in their system, and that impacts the child terribly. And what will happen is DCF will be notified by the hospital where the birth of the child has taken place, and there's some type of drugs in the child's system. That would lead to the filing of a 51A for medical neglect by the parent or neglect of some type. The last but not least is where a parent doesn't follow the advice of a medical provider. And the medical provider, whether it's a doctor, a nurse, school nurse, or some medical professional, says the child needs X, Y, and Z. For example, a nebulizer. And the parent fails to give the child a nebulizer because the child has asthma. And this is on a chronic and continuous basis. The child must use the inhaler so that they can breathe properly. And the parent fails to provide such, or the child doesn't have such. Same thing could be of a prescription or some type of drug that the child should be taking but is not because the parent fails to provide such medication to the child.